What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Life's a Dance podcast. I'm your host, Trey Kulata. As always, thank you for joining me. If you are here, it means that you too are a lifelong learner and on a personal quest to live out your life to its full potential and be your most authentic self. So thanks again. I love that you're here and I love that you press play. So today we are discussing why novelty is important in order for you to maintain your levels of joy and happiness forever and ever, amen. And we are going to get into, by the end, you'll have specific examples of how you can implement novelty into your daily practice so you're able to move more easily and tap into joy when and where you need it most. It's a pretty cool little skill to acquire. So let's get into it. So the recent scientific evidence suggests that novelty triggers the release of dopamine in our brains as a reward for seeking out new experiences. So anytime you try something new, your brain is going to shoot off that dopamine and you're going to get a little high. So who doesn't love a natural high? As much as I try to get high off of wine and all that other shit, extracurriculars, I love me a good natural high. And one of my favorite quotes of all time, it's even on my Facebook profile as my quote. I've been saying it for years, is to get something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. And I guess the scientific evidence supports that. So good for me for being a trailblazer. So they also say that exposure to new experiences also improves your memory. So we can see right off the bat that it's pretty clear why novelty is important to your everlasting sense of joy over the span of your lifetime. So the question then becomes, how do we go about implementing this idea of novelty into our everyday lives? Some of us are on a budget, I can't afford to take classes or go skydiving or, travel the world. But I'm here to tell you right now, there are ways to do it that are not going to break the bank and that are actually super simple. So one of my favorite things to do to incorporate novelty is simply changing up the path that I take when I go for a walk around my neighborhood. Because we tend to take the same kind of path every single time. But if you even just took that path in reverse around your neighborhood, it creates novelty and it creates a dopamine effect in your brain and sets off those good natural high brain chemicals. So why not and that's absolutely free. So that's just one example. Another thing you can do is rearrange, redecorate, or reorganize a room. So obviously, if you just simply rearrange the furniture, that's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything and gives you a sense like you're in a new space and it's something fresh. Redecorating the room, spend 30 to maybe $50 max on a gallon of paint and paint a wall or paint the entire room. You can see behind me, if you're watching me on YouTube, that I recently did all of these things to my office. So I rearranged some furniture, I painted some walls, and I went through the process of reorganizing my space. And now it feels fresh. I'm inspired to come in here and do the work that needs to be done. And on that note, it's kind of a segue. Me recording this podcast, this is a new and novel thing for me. And it excites me every time I get to talk about a new topic with you guys, because I have to maybe do a little research and, have some supporting information so that I know that I'm giving you guys the best quality content possible. A little bit of homework, whatever, never hurt nobody. Also, and on that note, exploring new skills. So I guess that's what that would fall under the category of. Now, obviously, everybody knows me, the tiny dancer. I am addicted to learning new things. So, it's no surprise that I'm happy most of the time. And honestly, when I'm feeling down, the very first thing that I naturally want to do is go dance. And usually it's just dancing by myself in front of the mirror because, I do my pop, block, hip hop, whatever. It used to be salsa dancing, but alas, I'm hoping this year that will get, back onto my radar. It was because I would really like to compete someday. But in the meantime, dancing just by myself, totally fine. And a quick way for me to, when I'm in the dumps or feeling a little down, I can instantly raise my energy and my vibration by just taking 30 minutes to go downstairs in my basement, turn on some tunes, and practice my skills. Another good one that's suggested is not dancing, but playing an instrument. So obviously there's novelty in that every time you either play a new piece of music or increase your skills, to where you're learning something a little more advanced. And that's what I love about these types of things, is that there's always like another level up. You're never really done learning and mastering the craft. So, I mean, if you can pick something in life that you would truly like to master, because yes, I mean, obviously traveling to somewhere new, I mean, for us out here in Colorado, we could just get in the car and drive and go for a hike in the mountains. Maybe not around this time of year because it's freezing friggin' cold outside. But you get the point. No matter where you are, there are ways to tap into something new around you any day, any time of the week. No matter what season it is, no matter what time of day it is, there is a way to tap into novelty versus the humdrum every day. I harp on this a lot, I know, but like scrolling through your social medias, nobody ever got to the end of their life and was like, I wish I would have spent more time on social media. I can fucking guarantee you that. I don't know how many of us that have had social media have come to the end of our lives, but I'm just saying, you get the point. It's not a new TV show or maybe it's a new movie. I mean, I guess that's because that kind of gets you, if you go to see it out in the movie theater, but the point is to get out of your comfort zone because your brain literally rewards you with that dopamine. But if you're just plopping down in front of the couch when you get off of work and turning on the same bullshit TV programs and scrolling through social media for the same amount of time every day, I don't know. You're just going to always, I guess, have to seek out the booze and the extracurriculars in order to get those dopamine hits. And that's kind of sad because then that takes a toll on your physical body. And we don't want that either. We got to take care of ourselves. Time and a place for everything in moderation. But plus, it's so much more fun. It's so much more fun. I remember going to the salsa. So when I was back in Orlando, I would be in the studio 3 times a week. And then a fourth night, all of us as a collective would go out and we would practice the skills that we learned the week before at the club. And it cost $5 to get in. You literally could drink, but you wouldn't want to drink because of all the complicated turns that you had to do. If you spun around too much as a female, you would likely puke all over the dance floor. So not only was it was a cheap activity, I was getting connectivity with people in my dance studio. I was learning new skills, practicing new skills, becoming physically fit as a side bonus, and also leaving in a completely sober state, having felt like accomplished. And I would leave and I'd be sweaty and I would just feel so fucking good. So happy, so joyous. And I would get to go home at 2:00 in the morning and drive home without fear of getting pulled over for a DUI. And then I'd wake up the next day feeling accomplished. So, I mean, think about all those compound effects, one over the other, the physical, the mental, the dopamine, just the connectivity with others, which is so, so important for our long-term joy and happiness. So that said, I challenge you this week to try something new. Switch something up in your routine. Maybe it's the path you take on your walk with your dog. Maybe it's reaching out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while. Or like I said, redecorating or rearranging a room in your house. Simply reorganizing or decluttering. So these are very simple things that we can do today to help create that novelty and get that dopamine hit of reward for doing something good for ourselves and creating a new experience. On that note, my friends, any comments? Leave them in the DMs, leave them in the comments. Tell me what you're thinking. Because I love this stuff. I love going out and trying new things. Again, in order to get something you never had, You have to do something you've never done. So remember that as you go into the rest of this week. I love you all. Till next time, let's dance.